So things are going to get worse for those who dare to mess with the Creator's people in this turbulent times. What's recently coming across the feed right now are regarding the nursing industry. Those who have become registered nurses, licensed vocational nurses, nurse practitioners, and so on. These jobs, which were a part of one of the main veins that the civil rights generation, especially the baby boomers, could have attained easily, so i.e. black women, they were shut out by the first and second priority white women and immigrants who have benefited the most and locked out black women in particularly. Of course, males can become nurses as well, but most of our men were literally in construction, and some of them were even in technology, and they were pushed out by, of course, white men. And then we have the Asian different countries and nationalities, and of course, ultimately with construction, we had the Latino who worked in Confederacy to turn against us, never really considering that the Most High would go after them. They had not to, because now they're complaining as if they're surprised that this is happening to them. Do you realize how many of us, maybe not many, sometimes it can only just take one person, to pray for the Most High to serve justice when you have been so unjust to us? I myself and many other black women, especially those of us who descendants of American slaves, who are also the true Hebrew Israelites, the house of Judah, we have had to work with all of you. And I have been in places where I have been treated horribly and pushed out of jobs because of these people. Um, and I'm aware of many of my family members and other women, other black women who have been pushed out uh, of these industries. Generation X, millennials, and so on, X and Y, Generation X and Y, we have all had to feel the hostile environments into which we had to entertain working with all of you. Soon as one of us was on the premises, and sometimes we were on the premises all along, and then one of you were moved into a hiring or management position, started hiring your own, and I'm talking about the immigrant and really the white woman too. You start hiring your own, but I would have to say less so with the white woman, but really when a immigrant, legal or illegal, got into a position of management, deciding who was going to enter into a company, they usually hired their own. They would bring their own in, and then the regular employees will become hostile and push people out. Do you realize how you have, in doing so, how their wrath of God that you have incurred upon yourself? This is the reason why things are happening to you in the way that they're happening. The creator of the universe is snatching from you what you have, one, gotten illegally. You really have gotten it illegally. You weren't supposed to get these hard-fought wins that my mother and my grandmother put their lives and bodies on the line for. My father, my grandfather. And so when they put their bodies on the line for, you weren't there around, you weren't taking the licks, you weren't taking the horrific tools that our enemies did to us. You made common cause with them, and you locked arms with them, and you watched from your country, then you came over here and then took it. You cannot expect any God that you believe in, if it's a God worthy of rightness and justice, would be okay with that. It would not come back with you with a sound judgment. And so I myself am pretty pleased to hear that that to see that these people that they honored so much turn on them and to pull the rug from under them. This is what revenge looks like. This is what it means when it says vengeance is mine. That the very system that you believe would support you for all time is pull the rug on you. And we try to, as black men and women, especially descendants of American slaves, and I would say really the only people who were shouting from the rooftops and putting themselves in danger were those of us who were descendants of slaves, put our bodies and our minds and our mouths on the line, knowing that we would suffer consequences, to say the truth and to give you forewarning that, hey, what they did to us, there's a debt due and it's coming. And don't just assume that you're going to grow old and die. Not even death is the closed door that many people think it is. No, 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 no. You're going to be resurrected right back to your life. It says it. It says it in the Holy Book. So yes, I'm happy to know that these jobs that these people occupy, with well-paying jobs, that this man and this administration is just gutting stuff. And don't think that he's doing it because he wants to do it. It is said in the Bible that the Most High would use their aims to further the cause of his people. And that is what you're living in right now. You're living in that moment where the Creator of the Most High's hand is on these elite people, at least the ones that are facing forward. So everything that they do when they're calculating, because they're calculating in their self-preservation, okay? That doesn't include you, rest of America. It doesn't include you, immigrant. Their self-preservation as the elite of the elite, their plans of self-preservation and survival and thriving and hoarded wealth does not include you. It never did. You were a means to an end. And once that end was reached, which is right now, today, in 2025, going into 2026, that's over. They don't need you anymore. And so now you become just as disposable as they have used us to be. But we're not as disposable as you are, because the spirit of rulership were allowed to commandeer. That spirit has been shut off from the elite. They do not have the power that they once had. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to boldly claim that they don't have power at all, but the mechanisms that they're using, the tools they're using, are still effective, so to speak, in order to deal with you, to make sure that you get to see what kind of people that you've been serving. There's no comfortable place in white supremacy. None. So I'm sending thankful and grateful prayers to the Most High. It's a marvelous thing. I will be sending even more prayers that he or she keeps going with this judgment, and take it to the full out extent. So my hope is that now that it's not a profession, you did all that, you got all these loans under you. And with the AI that's coming in, they ain't gonna need you. They're not gonna need you in these hospitals. That's why he's not doing it as a profession anymore. You don't get compensated as a professional, as a nurse practitioner, as a nurse, as a license. You just don't. You're not going to get that high salary, because they can have AI come and do it now. People can go online and put in their symptoms and get a diagnosis, plus be prescribed something. So guess what? Even doctors now are not safe. They're not even safe. They're not even safe. And then you're dealing with an economy, and you're dealing with a nation that's under divine judgment. Don't think that your stocks and bonds and your retirement is safe either. You got to pay for this. You don't get to treat people badly and horribly. You don't get to walk all over them, step on them, and then use them as a footstool when you didn't bleed for it, and you most certainly didn't earn it. It was given to you, and think that you're going to prosper. No, that bill's got to come due, and it's coming due for everyone. Whether you are alive right now or you're dead, it doesn't matter. Even the ones that are dead are going to be dug up. Death is not the closed door that you think it is. You don't get to escape from the Most High God. If he can create you, if he can put you to death, then she can bring you right on back. Okay? So it's marvelous in our eyes. It's marvelous in mine. It really is, because not too many descendants of American slaves are RNs or nurses, um, and those of us that were nurses, we've been kicked out. We've been ran out of the place. So yes, I see this as a justice measure, and all I can say to the Most High is, can you please just give more, like all the career stuff that they found so safe, that no one is safe in America. Okay, if black folks got to be uncomfortable, we all are going to be equally uncomfortable, and that has been my prayer for a while. And I don't think I'm the only one that's praying that prayer, because this is just not the business no more. This has got to end, and I'm so happy to see this. And some of us even prayed to the creator of the universe, and the creator of the universe, the Most High God, inclined us to feed our spirit to put that man, President Trump, in office, and to ensure that he was, and his cabinet and all his flunkies were a part of his government governing body. So yeah, pretty pleased. Everything's turned out exactly the way it's supposed to turn out. Nobody is safe now. Everybody can get into poverty. Everybody can have all of their unjust gains snatched from them. And even now, when I'm like at the park and whatnot, and I'm seeing these people pull their golf course, I can feel their spirit. They can't even unwind. They can't sit on their laurels as they're driving their little buggies around. You can see no one is smiling. Everybody is grimacing, as they should. I bet you can't even go on vacation like you used to, and just enjoy being a part of that class, a privilege. I'm sure that everybody now is shaking in their boots, and that's a good thing. I want you to understand this. Every job that you are doing now has become obsolete. In every stratosphere, in every field that you are in America, they have, and the creator of the universe has allowed them to open the secret books of this planet. And so everything that you have can be done artificially. And it was that way thousands of years ago. The world was far more advanced. There's evidence, great evidence, showing that it was far more advanced than where we're living right now. And a lot of the things that New Jerusalem, descendants of American slaves, are going to get a hold of have been locked away from the powers that shouldn't be anymore. And they have never been able to get a hold of it. Never, ever, ever. But it's through bloodlines of black folk that technology will be bequeathed to. There's a lot of power that's going to be given to the hands of descendants of American slaves, who are the true Hebrew Israelites, the children of the book, that has a promise bestowed upon them. But everything that everybody is doing right now for a job, you could be easily replaced. No job is safe, and no job is sacred. That's what you're learning today. The very fact that this president and his cabinet and his folks, his class of people, the elites of this world, are able to declassify you and your importance in the world, in the healthcare field, that should tell you something, folks. That should tell you something. In other words, they have made your degree virtually worthless. Maybe that's why you're treating black women so badly when we walk up in there. We're not believed about our symptoms. We're not cared for in the proper context that we need to be cared for. We're not giving the standard and above standard treatment. And I will say for myself, there was only one person that I know of, one white woman actually, that I know of when I went to a clinic. Even if she was faking, which I don't believe she was, she's the only one in my half a century of being on this planet that actually treated me like a human being. But something happened to that woman. I won't say what that was, but something happened to her. Uh, uh, I, 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 I have to believe her. I have to believe her just by her spirit that changed her mind about the idea of the whiteness, right, and what it means in this wicked world. And so she is about compassion, and I believe her. I do believe her. Okay, but that doesn't. That's she's not the norm, unfortunately, or I would say she's not the standard. And even there are some people who are Asian, and there are different ethnicities or in the Asian community. You know, there's Chinese people, there's Japanese people, there's Filipino people, there's Korean people, there's even Hmong, there's different varieties, just like with black folks. We have Nigerian, we have uh, South African, we have descendants of American slaves, or those of us who have a bloodline from the Hebrew blood Jews that came out of what is now called Europe and into North Africa, and then migrated to West Africa, to which many of them were picked up on slave ships and brought over to the Americas, which I'm sure they were already aware of. And then they were intermingled with the Hebrews in the or the Hebraic line and the Judean line in the Americas here. We were all intermingled. So I'm talking about those. I mean, they knew what was going to happen, and we know we're not surprised where we're at today. But this is a good thing. I can't wait until there's more coming from this man, from President Trump. I can't wait to see what else he's going to cancel out. No job is safe. None. Nothing that you do. Nothing that you do. I believe even with the people out of from the landmass of India. I know that they're in the tech. They've been allowed to go into the tech field. They are working right now. White folks are working right now to get them out, to actually push them out. And I'm sure that they're going to be released soon. TikTok. Nothing is safe. Nothing is safe because you live in a different paradigm right now. And it is time for this country as it is, this nation as it is, to close and to take its final breath. And it's time for the rise of the people of the book. And the only way that's going to happen is if we are set truly free and set truly free properly. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put this up. And then I'm going to also be putting up a little bit more about New Jerusalem Part 2. Thank you. So stay tuned for that. Please share and like. And if you like what you've heard, or even not like what you heard, I would suggest for your own sake that you provide a donation. Thank you to my Cash App. Bye. And that's never mind.